But what about people who are in extremely tough circumstances? I mean, I'm thinking now about, what about women and children who are stuck in slavery here or overseas in terrible situations? We have Don Lord from the Hagar organisation, and you're here, and you help look after women and children who are in economic and sexual...
Yeah, actually what we're all about really is dealing with severe human rights abuse. So that's women that are trapped in trafficking, women and children, aspects of sexual abuse and sexual exploitation.
Not trafficking in New Zealand, surely?
Yes, there is some aspects of trafficking in and out of New Zealand. We don't know the figures yet. There's no robust sort of data or research being done.
Okay, but there are women in New Zealand who go through the Hagar program?
Not in New Zealand, no. We are starting some work later, but at this stage it's Cambodia, Afghanistan and Vietnam.
Okay, now you also help children, don't you?
Yes, we do, yeah. There's the backgrounds of children in our work. You can see quite a high incidence of trafficking and domestic violence, and some of them come from very poor families. Others are attacked with acid and so on.
Okay, so just tell us a little bit about their backgrounds. The slide on the screen there.
Yeah, well, the situation for children is really that they come from very dark places. You know, some of them have never known what it means to be loved by anybody. They've never heard the words that I love you from a parent. Some of them have been sold into slavery by their own parents, and they think they're going for a job somewhere, end up being shackled inside a brothel at, say, age 5 or 6. And having to service like 10 men a day. So it's a life of hell for them. They really get trapped behind this horrible sort of, you know,
Now, this story is as old as time itself. It goes back to the times of Daniel, of course, and even back thousands of years before. There's always been slavery and tremendous human abuse.
Yes, yes. Even in Wilberforce's day, there was a massive slave problem with the slave ships. But actually today, slavery is worse than it was in the days of Wilberforce. 27 million people enslaved.
Now, you're not changing the world, because you haven't changed the world yet. The problem's getting worse, but you are changing the lives you can find.
Yes.
Tell us a story about one.
Yeah, well, we've got a picture of Sophia that you can see on the screen. Well, her background is one that she got married and her husband was a shocking abuser. Every day he would basically imprison her in the home. She couldn't get out. And every day he would beat her mercilessly. So she was very, very badly mistreated, eventually found her way to Hagar, and then Hagar starts the work of counselling, looking at the healthcare issues, maybe her education, and helping her get on an economic independent basis that'll set her right for a life. So, yeah, so it's wonderful to see that change, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. Now, if I could ask you, you're a Christian. It's nice to think that people of faith get involved in helping others, but is there something from the Christian story that drives this Hagar mission? Yeah,
well, our whole name Hagar comes from the biblical figure, the slave of Abraham. Probably you're all familiar with it, that he took on a slave so that he could have a son. In fact, his wife suggested this arrangement, which was quite common in those days, but in the end she was rejected and abandoned, forced out into the desert.
With a child?
By herself the first time. She actually came back in a second time when she'd had the son Ishmael. Then they were both forced out, and she was put a son over there and was about to watch her son die, and she cried out to God for his help, and he was there.
He was there.
And that's the thing. He's there for us.
And that is the thing. It is true, no matter what circumstance you find yourself in, no matter how bad or dark it seems, however bad it might be, it's going to be better having God there with you.